No, I don't have a problem. What's up guys, Evan here, and welcome back to the channel. Today I was just feeling a Switch collection. I've been collecting the Switch for like 2.5 years now. I know the Switch has been out for like the better part of a decade at this point, but it was really only about 2 years ago that I got into Switch collecting and I went hard on it. The Switch has quickly become one of my favorite consoles ever. It's not my favorite, but it's one of my favorite ever. If you guys like more content like this, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button down below. It really helps me out. I'm trying to grow a community here and I can't do it without you. And before we get started, I have a question for you guys. What's your favorite Switch game? There's thousands of games on this platform, but you definitely have a favorite and I want to know what it is, so let me know down below. All right, over to the hand cam now. Here's my hands. You're gonna see a lot of them. And here is my Switch. I have the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED. I thought I was being original because I was the only one of my friends getting these. And I thought they would be, no one would get them because the Switch 2 was coming and then everybody got one of these. But it is a beautiful console. I don't blame anybody for getting it, obviously. And I put a lot of hours into this thing. Switch OLED is amazing and it was a great upgrade and I don't regret it whatsoever. So that is my Switch. And the first game I got here is the Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. I'm really upset this isn't the Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations Collection, but whatever. I really like the Ace Attorney games, first time putting that one on record here, and I played the first Ace Attorney Investigations when it came out, and I really liked it. I thought that game was really fun. On the original DS, I was a kid at the time when it came out. I thought it was a good twist on the Ace Attorney formula, and I never beat it, but I was also really disappointed when Ace Attorney Investigations 2 never came to the US, so this is one I really haven't played all that much. I'm just working through the other Ace Attorney games. I want to play all of them, so I will get to this eventually. Next up, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. I got this for like $3 at a yard sale. This is actually a pretty fun party game to play once in a while with friends. I pull it out occasionally, but yeah, kind of like a shovelware $10 Walmart game. Animal Crossing New Horizons. I got this for Meg, my fiance, when COVID started and the game had just came out, and she played it on my Switch, put a ton of hours into it, and then she put even more onto it when she got her own Switch, which was like 3 weeks later. But this game is good from what I've seen. I've never played it, but it looks good and people love it, so what am I going to say about Animal Crossing? What that hasn't been said already. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. I played 2 games on here last year. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney for the second time. I played that on DS originally, and then I played Dual Destinies. I will say Apollo Justice is a great game, but it is not as good as Dual Destinies. Apollo Justice does have issues. People usually rate it among the lower tier of the Ace Attorney games, and I would probably agree with that. Dual Destinies, I feel like this fan base is a bit more split on that one, but I liked Dual Destinies. The whole Dark Age of the Law thing doesn't really outstay its welcome. It is like kind of like a theme throughout the whole game where it's like like they're not sold on it, and then you do the one of the cases which is focused on the dark side of the law, and that was a good case and I really enjoyed that. The second case in Dual Destinies is a little but I feel like there's always that one filler case in these games, and that was that one. But this is a great collection. There's a lot of bonus features, and just the presentation is like top notch. Compared to all the other Ace Attorney collections, this is the best one in my opinion. In terms of the collection aspect, you can debate about the games, but big fan. Astro Knight. This was really cheap on Amazon. I played it once and I didn't play it again. I wasn't into Metroidvanias at the time. I'm a little bit more into them now, so maybe I'll go back into this one, but I don't know. Atari 50. I really like these kind of digital documentary style games, and there's a lot of great Atari games in here that I really grew up on because my dad once brought me home an Atari flashback, and so I was playing all of those like Adventure and Yar's Revenge, so it was fun to go back to those, and it was really cool to see all of the documentary style, the videos. They got the old Atari guys back, and the commercials and the advertisements. Just a really great compilation of cool things. Unfortunately, this release is outdated. There is a new version Atari acquired in television, and so there's an Atari 50 expanded collection, which has a bunch of Intellivision stuff. There's Intellivision games. There's 2 new documentary like Trees or Branches where they talk about the war between Atari and Intellivision. So unfortunately, this release is outdated, but it's still a great one. Pick up the new version if you can. Balan Wonderworld. This is in a freak GameStop case. Yeah, I got a GameStop on an online order. That's fine. The only reason I own this is because I wanted to get all of the Square Enix games at one point, and that didn't end up happening, and now I have Balan Wonderworld. Balatro, don't play this game if you enjoy productivity. Balatro, I don't really need to say anything more about it. It was nominated for Game of the Year. It won Game of the Year from a lot of places. It's one of the best indie games I think ever made, ever put out. One of the best ones I've ever played. I've sunk so much time into this game, and it's so fun. And the Switch Physical comes with Jokers and Aces, which is really cool. And you can see it's not in there because it is either in my Switch or in my Switch case, my travel case. Cereza and the Lost Demon. This was like $15 on clearance at Target. My friend was at Target and he's like, yo, you want me to grab you a copy? And I was like, yeah, grab me a copy for this sick cover art. And I couldn't tell you anything about the gameplay because I've never played it. But it looks really good, and it's a first-party Nintendo game for like $15. This one just, really flopped at launch. It just did not sell that well. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. I got this game because I was craving some Jet Grind Radio or Jet Set Radio, and I played Jet Set Radio Future on the Xbox, the original Xbox, back when I had one for like 5 weeks as a kid. And this game is a lot of fun. It really scratched that itch. Unfortunately, that itch didn't last very long, so I probably played it for like a couple days, and then I moved it aside. I got it for free, so it's not like I had any like skin in it. I didn't spend any money on it. But I do want to go back to this game because it's really cool, and I even kind of dig the concept of it, where the character loses his head. I know, spoiler, but like it happens in the first 10 minutes of the game. Bravely Default 2. I, once again, wanted every Square Enix game and saw this game for really cheap. Unfortunately, I haven't played it, and I probably won't get to it for a long time because I just want to play other games, so it will stay sealed. And it is a beautiful game, but it will stay sealed. Cadence of Hyrule. I got this game at a local game store here in New York, and I was really excited because I've never seen physicals of this game, and putting this on record too, I love Zelda. It's probably my favorite franchise. If you couldn't tell from the Zelda Switch, I love Zelda, and there's the Ocarina of Time behind my head in my videos, but I have not played Cadence of Hyrule, and I don't know why. I just never popped it in my Switch, and I really like rhythm games. I was in a band, I love music, but yeah, just never played it for whatever reason. Castlevania Anniversary Collection and Castlevania Advance Collection. 2 Castlevania collections, both from Limited Run. Castlevania Anniversary Collection has more games here, but I think I like Advance Collection a little bit more. I'm really kind of getting into Metroidvanias, so playing Aria of Sorrow last year, it was one of my favorite games I played. That game was excellent. The pacing, the music, the enemy design, the level design, the power-ups, just the way you can customize your character. Ooh, Aria of Sorrow was so good. Oh, geez. Dracula X I've played a little bit of, and I didn't really mess with the other ones yet, but that game was really, really good. And I got the Dracula X cover because I like Rondo of Blood, which I played on PSP as a kid. Anniversary. The only game I played on here was Super Castlevania 4, and it was fun to go back to that game. It wasn't as fun as I remembered it, I'll be completely honest with you. I also played Bloodlines last year, and hot take, I liked it a little bit more. Celeste, another game I beat last year for the first time. Super late to it, but this game is amazing. It's like perfect pixel platforming. The story is really good. It's really deep. Imagery of this game is amazing. The graphics and the pixel art, incredible. This is just like all around one of the best games ever made. Clock Tower Rewind. I haven't played this game, but I want to kind of go off on a tangent a little bit about this one. It's weird that this exists. I have a physical copy of Clock Tower from the Super Nintendo or the PS1 in my hands right now. And a lot of people will get on Limited Run and they say that their games take forever, or they're printing games on CDRs, or they're just not being transparent enough. And yeah, there are some fair criticisms to levy at Limited Run, but at the end of the day, when they're releasing products like this that are just cool releases, yeah, you don't need the giant collector's editions, you don't need all of the merch, but just the option of having this game on a physical Switch cartridge in my hand, printed on, that's cool. I think that's cool, and that's why at the end of the day, I will back Limited Run. They're not a perfect company, but what they're doing is really cool, and I think that might go a little underappreciated sometimes. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. I played this after playing Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS5, and I really liked this game. I thought it ran good on Switch. The story is really, really interesting. I love Zack. I think I like Zack more than Cloud. He's an amazing character. So play Crisis Core. I could go on all day about this, but there's 1.5 million Final Fantasy VII lore videos and whatever. This is a great game. Cuphead. this is also amazing. 2D side-scrolling, hard-as-nails shooter. It's not even really side-scrolling because they're usually just one level that you're going on, but Cuphead, amazing art style, amazing music. That's what you're in here for, but the gameplay is really good too. I need to play this a little bit more. I usually pop it in when I'm like between games. I don't really know what to play at the time, but I've had some good times playing Cuphead, and it's hard as nails, and I can appreciate that. Speaking of hard as nails, Dark Souls Remastered. 1, a great port of this game. 30 frames a second locked the whole time. You know, say what you want about it being 30. It's a PS3 game or an Xbox 360 game, but it's really solid at that. And Dark Souls 1 is really, really good. The first 75% of this game is like amazing. The world is great. It's all interconnected. You can go throughout the world and kind of come back out the other side, and you're like, whoa, that's crazy how that wrapped around like that. The last 25% of the game, the pacing kind of breaks. It becomes kind of a slog. It ends on a high note of a final boss with a really, really rough run back. So if you die, you have to run through this big area with tough enemies again. So that's annoying to have to beat the final boss. But Dark Souls Remastered, I credit this game for getting me into the Souls genre because when I played it, it just clicked. Everything clicked, and then I played 3 more Souls games after that. Darksiders War Mastered. I couldn't tell you anything about this game, but I have the misprint copy with the black spine and the black Switch logo. And if you can see, this is like a bad layer. It's not like they meant to do this or that it was style choice. No, like this was a mistake. There are later copies with a red shoulder and a red Switch logo. This is just a mistake, so this copy holds a little bit more value. You can find it out in the wild, but if you find this at like a GameStop, it's usually like $30. Pick it up because it's worth a little bit more than that. Darius Burst EX Plus, I have not played this game, but I got it in a dual pack with another game, so you'll see that later. Deadly Premonition Origins, another one that I have still sealed. I got this at the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo last year for a really, really sweet deal. This game is like apparently so bad it's good, and I love survival horror, so I'm excited to try this because people say a lot of good things about it, actually. For being a game that, like, on the surface looks pretty bad, people have a lot of good things to say about it. So cool, this got a Switch port. Excited to play that. Deadly Premonition 2. The only thing about this game is that I bought it before I got the first game because I was so committed to wanting to buy the first game. This game looks terrible. If you look at videos of it, it looks awful. It runs terribly. The story is kind of nonsensical in like a bad way compared to the first game. Just not a lot of good things to say about Deadly Premonition 2. So I'm happy to have both games on Switch, but this one probably will not be getting played. Doom the Classics Collection. I was like thinking about how to talk about this game, and here's what I've settled on. Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 3 are amazing games. That goes without saying. This release has unfortunately aged like milk. Doom the Classics Collection contains the first build of the Doom 1 and Doom 2 ports that came out on Switch, which was not good. They did not run at 60 frames a second. They ran at a weird resolution. The music was slowed down, and worst of all, it had like a Bethesda.com DRM, so if you wanted to play the game, you needed to make a Bethesda account. Unfortunately, my copy of the game is the 000 serial number. I don't know if you can see that, but that means that the game is not patched. Limited Run did give out patched copies of this game for a little bit without the DRM. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter because since this cartridge came out, even patched ones, there has been an update to Doom 1 and Doom 2 to make them run at 60. And then there was another update to make them even better, and that's Doom 1 plus Doom 2, which you can get on the store right now. So this copy of the game is just outdated and is only really for collector's sake. I love the Doom games, and I wanted all of them on Switch. You're about to see them. So that's why I have this, but kind of a shame that this game has aged. This release has aged so poorly. Doom 64. I like Doom 64. This game was cool. It's cool that it even exists. Again, shout out to Limited Run. This game was trapped on the N64 for so long, and it was like the hidden secret on the N64 was Doom 64. I think the game is good. I think there are issues with it. I don't love the art style. I don't love the music, but it is still more Doom, and I'm going to take more Doom any day of the week. The only problem, this is like not a spoiler, I'm not going to spoil it, but the final boss, if you don't upgrade the Unmaker, is super challenging, almost like unfairly difficult, and that's what happened to me. I almost didn't beat this game because it was so hard, but I did get through it. Doom 2016. When this game came out, everyone was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe Doom is on Switch now. This is crazy. And it kind of was at the time. Now we have more impressive, impossible ports on Switch, but like this game when it came out, was like proof of concept for the Switch, that I could play Doom in bed. And yeah, it was awesome. I had it in 2018, I think, when it released. And then a couple years later, I got rid of it. And a couple years later, I got this for $10 at a Facebook Marketplace deal. There's a couple other games there. Dark Souls was actually another game in that Facebook Marketplace deal for like $10 each. So Doom 2016, good stuff. Doom Eternal. This is the Soho Limited Run Games pop-up cover variant. But I beat this game on Switch. Actually, I only beat this game on Switch, and it runs really, really well. Speaking of impossible ports, Doom Eternal should not be on Switch, but it is, and it's very, very good. It's not perfect. It's really not pretty, but it's super playable. It runs at a very steady 30 frames a second. It holds that pretty often, and props to the development team for making this happen, and props to Limited Run for resurrecting the physical print of this game, because it was canceled originally. Dragon Quest XI S. This game is really good. Let me preface it, like, everything about this game screams quality. Like, it's just so many good RPG mechanics and elements, and it's deep, and the story is fun and whimsical, and the music is amazing, and I love Toriyama's art in this. I just can't get into it. I got like 11 hours in, and I just put it down. I was like, okay, I think I'm going to put this one on the back burner. Dragon Quest XI is, again, a special game. I just couldn't get into it. And I feel the exact same way about Dragon Quest III HD 2D. I don't know what it is about Dragon Quest, but like, I need to have my Dark Souls moment where everything clicks with these games. But I can't say anything bad about them. This game is beautiful, incredible. The music is great. I love HD 2D. I'm going to go on and on about it with later games because, spoiler, I have all of them. But this one I will need to return to eventually. Dragon Quest III HD 2D. I'm sad that this game just didn't click for me. Dragon Quest Monsters. This game was probably not going to click for me ever because I don't really like monster catchers. I'm not a Pokemon guy. However, this game, just when it came out, there was a ton of hype that it was going to be super rare, and everyone was freaking out that, yo, you got to get Dragon Quest Monsters now, and Square Enix put out a statement. They were like, oh, if you can't find a physical, buy it digitally. And everybody was losing their gourd. Oh my goodness, we need Dragon Quest Monsters right now. You got to go out and get it. Yeah, this game is like regularly on Amazon on sale, like all the time. For $30. You can get this pretty easily, so that's just like future advice. Don't buy the hype when it comes to physical games that get retail releases. People always like to speculate on games being rare. This one turned out to not be. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. I have only ever played the demo of this game on PS3. I got this from a friend who was selling some Switch games. Dusk, another excellent boomer shooter on Switch, brought to you by LRG. I got this at the LRG store, and I played a little bit of it, and it's really, really good. It's like a modern day take on Quake. The setting is really cool. You're like fighting off a cult in the middle of the rural America or something like that. But yeah, Dusk, excellent, excellent game. Boomer shooter goodness right here. Skyrim is Skyrim is Skyrim, and I have nothing to say other than I got this in a grocery store parking lot. Alright, continuing on, we have the Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters, the 1-6 collection. I got this when you couldn't get the ESRB copy, so I imported this one from PlayAsia, and I played about halfway through 6, and that was an incredible game. And I think I was like traveling on vacation when I put a bunch of time into it, like just playing it at night. I need to get back to Final Fantasy 6 because that game is really, really good. Also would like to try the others too, but need to finish 6 first. Final Fantasy 9. This game looks great, but I haven't played it. And I also like that it is a horizontal box art because that's cool, right? Final Fantasy 12. I have not played this game because it scares me. The combat system is scary. It is like automated, and you need to set up chains and orders of operations for characters. I'm sure it's cool, and I'm sure I'll get it, but it scares me, so I haven't played it. Fire Emblem Engage. I played like 6 hours of this game, and it was fun. It was like an in-betweener for me. Like, I was between what game I was going to like settle on next. It didn't stick, is what that means, but I do like Fire Emblem Engage. The combat's cool, the story's cool. I like the Engage heroes, or whatever they're called, in the ring. And the story was cool. I was enjoying it. It's not a super deep game, but Fire Emblem Engage is a nice little strategy game if you like strategy games. Five Nights at Freddy's, the Core Collection. Okay, I'm going to defend this game. It's kind of a cool collection, right? Like, if you like Five Nights at Freddy's, there's a lot of game here. I played mostly Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I bought it after the movie came out, and that game was fun. I had a good time with it for about, 10 minutes. So yeah, not a bad collection for Five Nights at Freddy's if you like the Fredbear. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Okay, this game's like cool. This is another like Impossible port. This game had problems running on PS5 when it came out, but it actually is like a solid port on Switch. I need to give this one a little bit more time because it's a semi-decent survival horror game. It's like the new style survival horror where you run and hide and don't really fight back, but this is just cool that it's on Switch. Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I just needed to get this to complete my Ace Attorney set on Switch, so I haven't played any of these games before. G Darius HD. This is the other half of the dual pack. I did play this game, and it was fun. I was like itching to play a shoot 'em up at one point, got this, had a good time, and my itch to play shoot 'em ups has been gone. The only game that will replace that itch, and I will be itching again, is if I could find a physical copy of Ikaruga somewhere. They do exist, and they are actually on sale. Like, you can go to the Nicalis website and buy a physical copy of Ikaruga. It's a little expensive, but that's a game I never see anywhere. And I would like to make a video on like Switch games I still want to buy, and that is number 1. Ghost Runner. I bought this because I played it on PC, and I'm like, oh, how does this run on Switch? The answer, just fine. I wouldn't play this with Joy-Cons because it's so much better to play it with a mouse and keyboard. I can't even imagine playing this game on like a nice controller. Never mind 2 Joy-Cons. So it runs. Ghost Trick. I loved this game on DS, and so I followed that up by not playing it on Switch. I will get to it because this game is amazing. I played the demo, and then I bought it, and then I didn't play it. But Ghost Trick is amazing, and you should play it too. It Takes Two. Like many, I bought this to play with my fiance, and we played about half of it, and it was really, really fun. It was a magical experience. I'm interested to see what Hazelight's next game, Split Fiction, looks like, because this one was very good. I don't need to say that. It won Game of the Year. Alright, we're into the Zeldas. This game gets a bad rap. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is a beautiful game and has the best story of any Zelda game. That is my bold declaration for this one. Yes, the controls are weird and take some getting used to. Yes, the game has really, really bad pacing issues and horrible backtracking, but the music is some of the best in the series. The story is amazing. This game is good. This game is good. It gets a bad rap, but no, you should play this because it's Zelda. Like, a good Zelda game is like an equivalent to like so many other great games. A good Zelda game is a cut above. Link's Awakening. This game is definitely a Game Boy game, but it's a really good remake of a Game Boy game. There are times when you can see its age. It's really short, but it's really like magical. This kind of surrealist take on Zelda, very dreamlike, childish in this remake as well. There's definitely like a childlike wonder vibe that they were going for in Link's Awakening that I think maybe they just weren't able to do the first time around, and Link's Awakening, nails it. So this is a great 2D Zelda game. And I don't love 2D Zelda, to be completely honest with you. I was just born into Ocarina of Time, so I really liked Link's Awakening. I'm going to say I really liked a lot because I've curated this collection. But this game, on my scale, I really liked it. Echoes of Wisdom, kind of the pseudo follow-up in the same style as Link's Awakening. I didn't like this one as much, and I think it just came down to the different combat. But I did like this game. I thought the music was great. I thought the world was cool, a little unoriginal for my taste. I think the world felt samey. For Zelda's first starring role, this is a good entry. Alright, time for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I think it's impossible to talk about these games separately. Breath of the Wild started it, and Tears of the Kingdom finished it. Both of these games are incredible. They are 2 of the greatest games ever made, in my opinion. And here's where I stand on them. When I got Breath of the Wild, this game blew me away. I was playing it everywhere. I was playing it on the bus. I was playing it in my dorm. I was playing it. I would take my Switch home when I was in college, and I'd play it there. I would play it in bed. I would play it on my TV. It was incredible. It's just it's one of the best open world games ever. The world in this game changed how I view open world games because I realized I don't like games that just shove icons on the map. I know this game has towers and outposts like a Ubisoft Far Cry kind of thing would be, but Breath of the Wild's world is just so inviting and enticing, and It doesn't tell you anything. It just is like, oh, go there and figure out what it is. And that is what's so special about this game. And it's just even better in Tears of the Kingdom. In my opinion, this game is objectively better. It just has more. It's bigger, it's more, and it's all just as polished. It's just incredible how much is shoved into this game. The physics, the building. For lack of a better word, the sheer breadth of things that you can do in this game is incredible. It is so unbelievably wild to me that this fits and runs on the Switch. With that being said, I like Breath of the Wild a tad bit more for the memories and just playing this game for the first time and being so blown away by it. But Tears of the Kingdom is just bigger, better in almost every way. L.A. Noire, I love L.A. Noire. I just think this game nailed what it was going for. The detective gameplay, the world of old-timey Los Angeles. This game is just, I mean, it's aesthetic perfection. And it's also a really good pick up and play game. One of my favorite ways to play this game is to just pick it up every once in a while and play a case, or pick a case that I want to relive and have a good time with it. It's just a very easy to play episodic style game where you can take your time with it or play it as fast as you want. It's perfect portably because you can play it in these like bite-sized chunks. And the story is really good here too. I wish we could get another one. Unfortunately, Team Bonnie did close. But yeah, I really do think this is a modern classic. Live Alive, another HD 2D game. This one was fun. I played, like, I think you have to play 8 of these characters. I think there's 8 of them. I played 2, and I liked it. It was fun. The combat is not deep whatsoever. It's actually pretty easy. It's a pretty easy and a pretty short RPG. But Live Alive is cool. It's cool that this got a remake, and HD 2D is beautiful. It's a really nice game to look at. And if you want like a bite-sized RPG that you can play through at your own pace, Live Alive is perfect for that. Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. I love No More Heroes, and so this is a Suda51 game, and so I had to pick this up. Unfortunately, this port kind of runs bad on Switch. I think they might have patched it up a little bit now, but it's a pretty rough port from what I understand. This is also a Soho exclusive limited run cover, but I don't like it as much as the original, unfortunately. I just got it because I was there, and I didn't pre-order the limitedrun.com version. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I got this for $5 at a yard sale, and I have not played it. But I do like XCOM, so maybe I'll play it one time, because it's kind of like XCOM Lite. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I've played this game a million times, and so have you, because everybody and their mother owns this game. Mario Tennis Aces. I got this on clearance at Target, and while it is a good game and I've played it elsewhere, I have not really put too much time into this game myself. Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I haven't played this. This was a gift for Meg. She grew up on this game on the Game Boy. And for all intents and purposes, it's like a fine port. I don't think this is Nintendo's best effort. Speaking of not a great effort, Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. None of these games are on the cartridge. The only ones there are like MSX games and NES games. But these are 3 classic titles. I mean, you can't really go wrong with having Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 portably. But it is just, if you're a physical collector, it's not a great release. These games are not on the cartridge. You need to download them, and one day you probably won't be able to access them. So just think about that when you get this game on Switch. Metroid Dread. I've been thinking about playing this game for the better part of a year and haven't, but I really do want to play it because it looks amazing, and I love the horror aspects of it, and I love the history that this game was canceled a million times and is now in my hands and alive and real. Metroid Prime Remastered. I played this when it came out. It was impossible to find it anywhere. I, luckily, am in New York. I went to the Nintendo World Store, and they had a million of them. And I played this game for the first time, and it was amazing. Scanning everything, the world. Same thing with Breath of the Wild. This world is like super open and inviting, and I guess you can't say Metroidvania style because it is Metroid, but like the way that you just get new gear in this game and upgrade and find new places, it's just so rewarding. This game, excellent stuff. But make sure you scan things, because you're not going to get the full experience if you don't scan everything. NBA 2K18. This is the cheapest Switch game I have ever purchased in my life. I got this game for $2.50. The World Ends With You, or Neo The World Ends With You. I liked the first game on DS, and I never played this one. Nier Automata, I really need to go back to this game. Also on my immediate to playlist. Nier Automata is so cool. It's got such a cool story. It's got a really cool world, and I was starting to get into it. I put like 8 hours into this game. Definitely need to go back to it. It's kind of daunting that you need to play this game like several times to get the true ending, but it is beautiful and it runs so good on Switch. This is one of the best ports to Switch ever. Like, this is really good stuff. Night Trap. This is in a protector. The only reason I own this game is because Nintendo once said it will never come to a Nintendo platform. And that's why I have it. I bought this from a guy locally here in New York, and the dude, he gave it to me and he's like, yeah, I thought it was cool that it was on Switch, but I never opened it and I never played it, so I'm going to sell it. And I looked at him and I said, yeah, I'm probably never going to open it and never play it, but it's cool that it's on Switch. And then I handed him $30, and now I have Night Trap. Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. This is the best game I ever played once. I played it once, I had a really, really great time, and then I never played it again. I also have the Deluxe Edition, which I'm going to do big boxes at the end. No More Heroes 1 and No More Heroes 2. These are two of my favorite games on Switch. Played both of these games back to back. Really, really had a great time with them. I like the first game a little bit more. I like the empty open world. It kind of drives home the point that Travis is a loser and needs to do these odd jobs, and so you got to do these monotonous jobs and drive through this open, empty world to get to these odd jobs. It's kind of like ironic in a way, but this game is like really, really fun, and just a great hack and slash that doesn't take itself too seriously. No More Heroes 2, graphically and like gameplay wise, kind of takes things up a notch. I don't think it does the No More Heroes wasting your time as well as the first game. I don't know, there's something about this game that I don't like as much as the first, but it is still really good. The final boss in this game is like so frustrating. And speaking of big boxes, I also have the collector's editions for these, which I will get to. Alright, No More Heroes 3. This game is kind of different than the other ones. It came out way later than No More Heroes 1 and 2. And not counting Travis Strikes Again, this game just takes the No More Heroes formula in a different way. Now, instead of doing odd jobs, you need to get money, and you need to do 3 qualifying fights. But instead of a long level and then a boss fight, when you had to do the rank match in 1 and 2, you do the pretty much the trash fights before the boss battle, and then you just do the boss battle when you have enough money to get there. It's an interesting take on it. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate that formula. I enjoyed the game and played it through. I just don't think it's as quality as the other ones. I almost feel like they tried to do too much in some regards. It's also really ugly on Switch. It just is an ugly game. But it is fun, and if you can get past the open world frame rate issues and the bad graphics, No More Heroes 3 is a good time. Also have Travis Strikes Again. I have not played this one, but it is also the most beautiful Switch game in my opinion. I think this art is incredible. It is so nice. Octopath Traveler. This is the second time I purchased this game. I bought it when it came out, and I fell into the hype. And I like Octopath Traveler. I love HD 2D, and the music in this game is incredible. However, what turned me off about this game is that it has structure issues. The structuring of this game for all 8 characters is very samey and very boring. You will do a story mission, you'll fight a boss, and then you'll have to level up to do it all again. It's kind of boring in that regard. It's very uninteresting to get to those story missions. The world is cool, but there's not that much stuff in the world that's driving you to level up and strive to reach to that next goal to get to 10 levels up so you can continue your favorite character's story. That's my issue with Octopath Traveler 1. It's also really grindy. In that respect, there's not enough things to kind of push your level up, so you have to end up grinding. But this one has some issues, and I'm aware of them. But I do want to give it another chance, because Octopath Traveler 2 was so good. This game fixed all of my complaints with Octopath Traveler 1. It was like a top 2 game that I played last year, and I mean that, of all of the games I played in 2024, this was number 1 or number 2. I'm still not decided yet, but this game, oh my goodness. So good. All of the stories, they connect in this one, which is very important. The characters interact with each other. The battle system is amazing. The music is incredible. I cannot sing this game's praises enough. Octopath Traveler 2, you need to play it because it flew so far under the radar and it got so unfair reviews. The reviews for this game were so unfair. I just think a lot of reviews said it's more of the same, but it's a formula perfected. They perfected the Octopath Traveler formula in this one, and it's such a special experience. It really feels like an adventure. This was a really amazing RPG. I spent 50 hours in it, and I never spent 50 hours in games. This one was special. The Outer Worlds, I bought this game during a night out, and I looked at eBay, and now I have it, and I've not played it. The Outer Wilds, I got this game for free from GameStop during a Black Friday sale. This game apparently is incredible, and people rave about it. I do want to try it, but I have not yet. Okay, this is my Persona collection from Limited Run. I have the Persona 3 and 4, the regular, not the foil covers, and I have this slipcover. I did not expect this to be kind of as rare as it is, but people pay like a lot of money for just this piece of cardboard right now. Never mind the big editions of these two. Persona 3 Portable, there are better ways to play Persona 3. It's a lesser version of an incredible game, and that still makes it a great game. I do miss in like Persona 3 FES or now Reload, where you can move around in 3D space, but playing this game on the PSP when I first played it, I didn't care about any of that at all. It was incredible then, and it's still a great game now. And it's still worth going back to play the female protagonist route, so there's still reason to go back to P3P, and I think you should. Persona 4 Golden is one of my favorite games ever. I emotionally connected to this game when I first played it on Vita. I just thought that the main cast was so incredible, and they reminded me of my friends in real life. It's just such a special story, incredible music. I mean, everything about this game, I loved it. I haven't played it on Switch because I must have put 150 to 200 hours on it on Vita. So, I mean, I got my fill in this game, but I needed to buy it because it's one of the best games ever made. A piece of art. And I can say a lot of the same about Persona 5 Royal. This game is super special. It is dear to my heart, this game. My cat is named Morgana. That is how special this game is to me. I go back and forth a lot on whether I like 4 or 5 better, and everything I just said about Persona 4 applies to Persona 5. This is a 100-hour experience that I have played 3 times, and it never gets old. It's special every time I play it, and you need to play this if you haven't played it, because it is just the perfect JRPG. Persona 5 Strikers. This is like a fun little spin-off. I played this on PS4. I didn't beat it. There's some good stuff in here. It's a direct sequel to Persona 5 Royal. Well, it's not trying to be the same game, but it's fun. You should give this out, especially if you like warrior-style games. Personally, I had fun with it. It's also like really challenging. This game's hard. Persona 5 Tactica. I just haven't played it, straight up. PGA 2K21. 2 things about this game. 1, it's getting weirdly expensive. Like, this game's $40 now. I remember buying it for $20, like, at the beginning of last year. But this game is great. It's a good simulation golf game. It's amazing on other platforms. I've played it a ton, but it looks really bad on Switch. I mean, this is one of the worst looking Switch games I've ever seen. It looks like garbage. It actually looks like garbage in motion. They say poetry in motion. This is garbage in motion. But it does actually play okay. Am I paying $40 for this now? I don't know. There might not be any better simulation golf options on Switch. But just keep in mind that this one's pretty rough looking. Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I played it. I liked it. It didn't really stick. That's fine. Pikmin's really quality stuff. I like this game. And maybe one day I'll go back to it. Phoenix Wright 1, 2, 3. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, the first game, is one of my favorite games ever made. And for some reason, I have not finished 2 and 3, so that is a goal for this year. But I cannot say enough about how great these games are. This game is not great. But again, going back to my limited run argument, it exists. This is weird. Why does this game exist on Switch? Because Limited Run did it. They did it for the meme. It's a meme game. But hey, like, this is a cool release, right? They even give you this nice anime cover on the back, or the front, whichever side your copy shipped in. It's also part interactive documentary, so you can go back, and they interviewed a bunch of internet creators, and they got the original actress from the game to come back and talk about the making of it and what the game now means to meme culture and the video game collecting sphere. It's a cool release. Don't pay $50 for this one unless you really want it, which I just kind of really wanted it. Baki and Rocky Reshrined. I put a little bit of time into this. It's a fun shoot 'em up. Power Slave Exhumed. This is still new from the limited run store. This is a Sega Saturn PS1 era boomer shooter, Metroidvania, really cool game. Night Dive is excellent at bringing these boomer shooters back to life, and I'm excited to play this. I got this fairly recently, so me not playing it is kind of, I have an excuse because I got it not too long ago. Oh man, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. It is such a shame what happened to this game. They dissolved the whole team of this game, and now we're not going to see another one, and they canceled the DLC. And this is one of the best Metroidvanias out there. This game is so good. Platforming is so smooth. The combat is deep but simple and fun and easy to get into. The map is intricate but simple, and you can get around it easily, and it evolves, and you feel like a boss when you get powered up and get to go back through it. Man, this game is so good. Play this game. It's like $15 new everywhere, all the time. Don't let Ubisoft win. Alright, Puyo Puyo Tetris. Shifting gears a little bit here. This game is fun to play multiplayer. Me and Meg like to play this just to battle each other in like the PvP Tetris. But I'm not really a Puyo Puyo guy, neither is she. But this is a cool little release. Quake. And Quake 2. More boomer shooters. I love the original Quake. The Lovecraftian vibe of it is so my jive. It just has an art style that I feel like is like yet to be matched. I know there's some games like Dusk that go for it, but like the original Quake, I mean, that has the sauce. This game is just beautiful and ugly in like the best way, and it's a really fun shooter too. You can't go wrong with Quake. It's an all-time classic. I guess my funny story for this game is I had somebody deliver it from like 25 miles away at a Best Buy that had one copy of it because I wanted to take it on a flight. Alright, final stack of games here, let's do this. Resident Evil Revelations Collection. I love Resident Evil. Revelations is great. You should play it. It is a 3DS game, it feels like a 3DS game, but it actually is like a really good Resident Evil experience. Credit to Capcom for releasing that game on the 3DS. Unfortunately, this is the last game I got in the Facebook Marketplace deal that I talked about before, and it does not have the code for Revelations 2. So it's just Resident Evil Revelations 1. But I've played it, haven't beaten it, but it's a lot of fun. SMT5, this was really cheap at a local game store, and it was the Steelbook, and I think it was sealed when I bought it. Nowadays, I probably wouldn't go back to this version, just I would play Vengeance if I was going to play it. But it's interesting. I like Persona a lot, so SMT5, this game got good reviews. I would like to play this game at some point. I just probably won't play this version of it. Signalis. I once had this game with the photo, the little like photo thing, and I don't know if you knew this, but there are copies of this game with a little Polaroid that comes inside of it that are worth a ton of money. I didn't know that, but I just sold this game the first time because I didn't like it, and I bought it back because I wanted to give it another try. So I have Signalis. Sonic Origins Plus. What can I say about these games that haven't been said already? I mean, it's Sonic 1, 2, 3, and CD. Like, they're classic Sonic games. They're amazing. There's nothing wrong with that. The ports, they look good. They run good. I don't like that they got rid of the music in Sonic 3, the Michael Jackson tunes. But like, if you need just a way to play these, this is solid. It's not going to stop me from playing the Sonic Mega Collection. I will go to that game first before this. I like buying Sonic games. That might sound weird to say, but like, I like buying Sonic games. I think maybe just for the history of it. Sonic Superstars. I bought this game and it was really, really cheap, and I played it once and I didn't like it. But I like buying Sonic games, so it's fine. Stardew Valley. My fiance Meg told me to say good things about this game because I got this as a gift for her, and she has had it for like a month and put 100 hours into it. So she loves it, so I love it. Star Ocean: The Second Story R. This is another beautiful HD 2D game, which I have played, and I enjoyed it. I didn't beat it. Played probably about 10 hours into this, and I put it down. I would like to pick it back up, but we'll see. I'm not so sure if I will get back into this one. It wasn't really sinking its teeth into me, even though I do acknowledge that it is a very high quality game. Also, this download required thing is a lie. You don't need to download anything for this game. Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster, another boomer shooter. I did try this one out, and I actually really wasn't feeling it, so I put it down and moved on to other things. But it's cool. Dark Forces, old FPS, limited run, you know the drill. This is like my thing. I love buying these games. Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life. I bought this again for my fiance because she likes farming games. I told her she'd like Stardew, and she said, no, I don't want to play it because it has pixel graphics. So I got her this, and she likes this game a lot. And then I got her Stardew, and this game faded off into obscurity. Super Mario 3D All-Stars, there's nothing I can say about these three games that has not been said before. They are three masterpieces. This game is now worth $100 because Nintendo decided to stop making it, and I think it's worth it. I think it's worth that money if you want to play this game. Super Mario Wonder. I liked this game when it came out. I just fell out of it. I was going to say something about 2D platformers, but I loved Celeste. I played that game right through. There was just something about Wonder that I was like, okay, like this is fun, but on to the next one. And so that's where I am with this game. Super Mario Party Jamboree. This game is awesome. This is really great. I got the ugly Switch Online version of it, but like this is like jam-packed Mario Party goodness. I was really disappointed in Super Mario Party, like the original one. I did not like that. Superstars, I still wasn't convinced because they weren't new. Jamboree, like, we played the hell out of this game. This game's great. Super Mario RPG. This is like everyone's first RPG. I had never played the original game. I knew that it was like revered by people who grew up on it. In 2025, it's kind of a simple game. It's short, it's not too in-depth, but it is a lot of fun. It's very whimsical and jaunty, and it's a fun adventure. It doesn't take up too much of your time, and I can really appreciate that about it. And yeah, it's cute, and I think it's worth a buy. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is an amazing game. I don't think that goes without saying. I'm just not a huge Smash person, and I've been playing Smash with, I did play Smash with one of my friends who is much better than me, and it got me mad, and so I don't like to play this game. Sushi Striker. This game was really cheap. It's first-party Nintendo. Played it once, and that's it. Tales of Symphonia Remastered. I bought this on Easter in 2023 from Best Buy for $20. Grew up playing Tales of Symphonia. Loved it on the GameCube. Haven't touched this one. I was like, I'm going to buy this game and wait till it gets patched and it's better. And it's now patched and better, and I haven't played it. Theatrhythm, if you like video game music and you like Final Fantasy, this is a no-brainer. Excellent rhythm game. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga Collection. I think I got this because it was really cheap and I wanted to play Turtles in time, and I did, and I got my money's worth. That was what I bought it for, that's what I wanted, and it's cool to have, you know, it's a good collection. Tomba, this is also from the Soho limited run event. I was excited to play this because it was like cool. I was in the mood for a pseudo 3D platformer, and I played it once, and I was like kind of on it. I need to give it another chance. I'm not writing this game off or anything. I do need to play it again. Tormented Souls. Okay, I love classic Resident Evil, like tank controls, backtracking, finding keys. Give me all the good stuff with that. Tormented Souls wasn't doing it for me. I don't know what it was. Sam is the same thing with Signalis. Just wasn't doing it for me. And I've tried several times to pick up this game and enjoy it. And I like get halfway through the second section. Like I'll unlock the first like big door to get to the next part of the asylum that this takes place, and I'll stop right there. Like that's usually where I get to, where I'm like, okay, like I think I'm done with Tormented Souls. They are making a Tormented Souls 2, so worth noting about that. Towerfall. This is the best party game ever. I'm saying it. This is the best party game that you can play with friends. Towerfall is fun, it's competitive, it's fast, it's quirky, and it's so much fun, and it's easy to pick up and play. So I highly recommend you grab this game. You can just, play with like one of the little Joy-Cons, pass them out to all your friends, and you're going to have a really, really good time if you've not played Towerfall. This game is excellent. Triangle Strategy. I did play about 18 hours of Triangle Strategy. First off, this is a long-winded game. The first 4 hours or 5 hours of this game, it was like 3 battles, and the rest of it is all dialogue and speech and story. With that being said, it's a really good story. The story's interesting. It tells a story of 3 kingdoms that are fighting for power, and where one guy, this guy Serenoa, gets caught up in all the middle of it. The voice acting is a little suspect at times, but overall I do think it weaves a good narrative, and the strategy gameplay is really good. It's very deep. It can be very difficult at points too. This game is also insanely beautiful, both in terms of music and graphics. I do need to finish it, but Triangle Strategy, I give this one a big thumbs up. Trials of Mana, the first game I bought in 2024, and I haven't touched it. Turok 3. Okay, hey, look, another limited run boomer shooter remaster. This game is not art. It's not amazing, but man, is it fun. There's a lot of cool guns. It's really short. There's 2 playable characters that you can go through, have different paths a little bit. It's just a really good time, in my opinion. It's something that you kind of play, have a little bit of fun with, and then you're done with it before you know it. Undertale. This game is a masterpiece. I played it for the first time in 2023 after just hearing so much about it, and I was kind of iffy on it because, like, you know, it was the Undertale meme at that point, and everybody was memeing on this game. Undertale is so incredible. It is a beautiful, heartfelt story with some of the best music in any game ever released. I will be doing a video on video game music at some point, but Undertale is absolutely must play, must own. And I'm really excited for Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4. Whenever we get that, I'll be playing that because this game is amazing, and I think I might like Deltarune a little bit more. Alright, coming near the end here, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I'm actually playing this game right now, and it's beautiful. It's amazing. I'm having a ton of fun with it. I'm like 20 hours in and really enjoying it, and Riki is my favorite character ever. I really love him. That little guy, I want to just squeeze him. He's so adorable. Alright, The World Ends With You Final Remix. This game controls really poorly. I don't think I have any other things to say about it. That is not new. That's not new info. Play this game on DS because it's really, really good. I played it as a kid on DS, and it's great, but this game controls poorly. And finally, Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. This game has a ton of content in it. There's content from every era of Yu-Gi-Oh! So whatever you like. Personally, I like the original era of Yu-Gi-Oh! I talked about it in my last video before the Early Days collection came out. I need to play this game a little bit more. I've only kind of scratched the surface of it, but this is like a nice modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Game that you can play if you don't want to play the Early Days, which honestly, I don't blame you for not wanting to play like any of the Game Boy Color stuff on there. So this is a good modern option if you don't want to go back to the early days. But wait, there's more. I found a couple more Switch games that I hadn't included with the original pile. I have 2 sections, because I live in a small apartment, so I have 2 sections where I have my Switch games, and I keep kind of more of the shovel-y ones off to the side. And I didn't know that they weren't included here. Pac-Man World Repack. Meg played this. She got right to the end of it and got so mad at the final boss, she vowed to never play it again. So she's claimed she beat this game. Everybody else knows, because I made sure they know, she did not beat this game. And I will shame her until she beats it. Minecraft is Minecraft. Starlink Battle from Atlas, or Battle for Atlas, was like $5 at GameStop. Lego Brawls was $5 on the Walmart app, and I obviously haven't played it. Harvestella, I'm so sad, is in a GameStop case. One day I will get a case for Harvestella, because I actually do want to play this game. It looks really interesting, but until then, it will remain off to the side in shame because GameStop sent me an ugly cover for it. House Flipper. Meg bought this game, and she played it, and I think it looks like shovelware. Disco Elysium. Remember Dragon's Dogma when I said my friend was selling games and he needed to get rid of them? Disco Elysium was another one that I bought off of him. And I'm like kind of iffy on playing this game, and I don't know why. I know it's amazing, and everybody like swears by this game being so good, but I don't know. There's just something about it that kind of drives me away. Maybe it's the art style. I don't know why. I'm weird. But I probably will get to this game at some point. I just need to like force myself to get into it. Super Mega Baseball 4. This was $5 at GameStop. Rune Factory 3 Special. This was $10 at Walmart. Haven't played it. Immortals Phoenix Rising. I just decided that I needed to buy this game when it went on sale for one of the million times that it's been on sale. And finally, South Park Snow Day. This was like $10. I did want to try this game out at some point. I know it's bad. I know it's worse on Switch, but it was like $10 and it's multiplayer. So I'll give it a rip. I don't care. I'm not below trying out a bad game. All right, and I know I said I would revisit the top shelf here, so I have Arzette, the Jewel of Faramore Collector's Edition. That was my big get from the trip to the Limited Run Game Store. I love Arzette. That game is amazing. Octopath Traveler Wayfarer's Edition. I pieced that together. I just found a really cheap listing with no game on eBay, and so I pieced it together, and it's a really, really great looking CE. The NES World Championship Edition Deluxe set, which is nice. And then I have over here the No More Heroes 1 and 2 Limited Run Collector's Edition with the magnetic box. I just got that because I saw a bunch of YouTubers had it, and I was like, I love No More Heroes. I need that, so that's why I have it. This is what I'm dealing with on my floor after all of that was said and done, and then there's a huge stack right there as well. Alright guys, I think that's all we have for you today. If you liked the video, hit that like button, and if you want to see more game collecting content like this, hit the subscribe button. Morgana would really appreciate if you did that, and we'll see you in the next one.